I don't always film everything that I do, but this is another one of those things where I got partway into it and I was like, I need to show you guys this. First off, I need to turn off the old air conditioner here. There we go. So the bounder, I've been getting that clicking on this front wheel that's intermittent. And I cleaned the bearings on it before. I got some hair and other things out of there. But I went ahead and pulled the front wheel back off, and I very carefully removed the rubber shield on the bearing. And as it turns out, there's actually a pretty good amount of garbage down inside the rollers on this bearing. And you gotta be really careful when you remove these rubber shields, but there is a fairly significant amount of garbage that I pulled out of here. And all of this stuff will very easily cause that clicking sound. If you get a couple of pieces of hair or other things down in here, these little rollers will catch on it and make noise. So I got the other side cleaned out already, but just this little bit of stuff is really all it takes. It's almost impossible for whatever reason to keep the hair and stuff out of there, but I'm using my little hook and pick set here. And you got to be super careful not to damage these when you take them out, otherwise they will never go back in there. But I've just about got this one cleaned out now. And yeah, there's a pretty good amount of gunk down in here. These are not necessarily sealed bearings, but I might put a little bit of white lithium grease down in here when I'm done, just to displace some water and give it some lubricity. Yeah, gross. Well, in light of recent and not so recent events, I went to Taco Bell for the first time in like 6 months. Yeah, that place is not good. I mean, it's good, but it's not. My old civilian C2 taser, the battery in it finally died. While the laser and the flashlight still work, the, yeah, no arcs. Actually, no, was this a civilian version? I don't remember. Anyways, this thing will go on for 30 seconds. But anyways, the battery died in it, finally. I went to look online and they don't sell that model anymore. Plus I mean, they do have batteries, but they're kind of expensive. So I decided to get something else. Got a bit of a deal with this. Not sponsored in any way by Taser International, but managed to broker a little deal with them because of all the years that I spent buying things from them. So here we have the Taser Strike Light. This is a flashlight stun gun. I honestly don't even know how much this thing was. But anyways, it's a flashlight. It does not use the standard cartridges, because with Taser you have these cartridges that have the pins and the wires that come out when you hit the trigger. This one you can physically remove the cartridge and use it as a stun gun, but that's kind of a lot of screwing around to pull this thing out of there, especially if you just want to make a lot of noise to get some coyotes or something to run away. Yes, there's lots of coyotes around here. This flashlight, I think, should be a good alternative. Now, fair warning, this thing is loud, and I'm not going to adjust the volume. In about 90 seconds or however long before I hit the button on this thing, shield your ears. And if you're using headphones, well, maybe turn down the volume. Pretty simple thing. It's in a box, it's aluminum, and ooh, that's got some nice sharpness to it. Yeah, so you can see the flashlight there. You've got the probes on the other side there. This end is also pretty sharp. It's like we've got a lanyard and charger. Oh, it uses a barrel connector. I was hoping it would have been micro USB or something cool. Let's see here. Oh, just uses Tenergy 18. Well, I was gonna say 18650s, but there's only one in here. Huh, cool. Wow, look at the threads on that too. This thing was designed for like a long life of service. I mean, those are nice, coarse threads. Alright, well, let's see. We've got flashlight. It's pretty dang bright. Shield your ears, children. Oh, there's nothing better than that sound. Pretty sure they can hear that out in the hallway. But, I think that should be good for the coyotes and some of the other 2- and/or 4-legged creatures that I tend to run across on the trails in the middle of the night. So, you've got the flashlight switch on this side, and the flashlight has to be on. Then on the other side, there's the taser button, but if the flashlight's not on, pushing that button won't do anything. If you think you see me wandering around on the street, and you're not sure if it's me, just listen. If you hear this randomly going off all the time, it's probably me. I'm gonna plug this thing in and charge it up. No idea what the condition is of the battery in here. You know, I've been sitting here thinking, it's been a long time since I've gotten tased. It was actually back when I was doing training, and they gave us 2 options. You could either... Okay, yeah, red light's on the charger. It seems to be charging. They gave us 2 options. You could either have them shoot you with the darts that come out of the cartridge here, and there's 2 of those in there, and they pierce your skin, and it's pretty interesting. Or they could just attach alligator clips to your chest. Well, I opted to have them clamp the alligator clips onto me. And I figured instead of having something pierce my skin, that would be better. But what I didn't think about until they hit the button was that the alligator clips are much better and conduct electricity a little bit better. So, regardless, or needless to say, I don't know, I really want to tase myself in the leg with this, but with all of my neuropathy and whatnot, that probably wouldn't be a good idea. There's some seriously loud music across the river. This next footage here you're about to see is probably almost a month old. Well, long story short, I wound up getting a new laptop to do video editing on. Well, new to me, not brand new. And in the process of swapping over the solid-state drive, well, let's just say there was some data loss, and it took me a while to get the data recovered, and I didn't get quite all of it. So I had a bunch of footage I was going to use for the last couple videos, but, yeah. Anyways, this next stuff here was going to be used, so now we're going to use it. So yeah, let's go back a few weeks. I can confirm this camera actually has a glitch. It said record on the screen. Anyways, emergency bounder mods. I've got this RGB lighting kit here. This is from a friend's chair that was previously installed on. We're having a little bit of problems with the controller, specifically the infrared receiver working the way it should. But anyways, there's a massive party at the Coliseum tonight. It's a charity fundraising event. But I need some RGB lighting on the bounder for when I go there. So I'm going to see if I can get this kit working again. I don't necessarily care if the remote is functioning. As I remember, the problem with this one was you could turn it on, but then the remote wouldn't respond. All I care about is the thing powering up and then moving furniture. All I care about is the thing powering up and actually working. So I'm going to get all these little itty bitty wires soldered back on to the ends of the RGB lighting strips here and see if we can get this thing to power up. Because I want it, this is a microphone in here, I want it to be able to pulse the lights with the music. And I think I should be able to get it going, but anyways, let's get the soldering iron turned on here. And Let's see if we can get this setup going again. Gonna dip the sponge in some water. Alright, now that we've got one of these modules soldered up, let me grab a power connector here and see if this little module even still works. We'll just use the benchtop power supply here to check it. Ha! I'll set it to 12 volts. Connect up our leads. And then we're going to want to set our maximum current. On this particular supply, you just short the leads together and then set what you want your maximum current to be, which in this case will go about 1.5 amps. And we can go ahead, plug this in, connect up our wires here. Let's see what happens. Okay, we've got a blue light, excellent. Let's see if the remote is working or not. Does not appear to be. As I recall, you had to just sort of move this cable around and then they would start working at some point, I think. Oh, there we go. Okay, so our brake is right here in the end of this wire. So our brake is right here in the very end of this wire. So I suppose I could strip this connector back and see if we could get it working more reliably. Let's see here. Check, check, 1, 2. Seems to be responding to sound. All right, cool. I'm gonna finish wiring up the rest of these RGB lights to this thing since I know we can make it work. And then, actually, I think first I'm gonna try and dissect this cable here and see if we can't get it going. So I'm gonna go ahead and just cut this down here. And then strip back our wires a little bit. Looks like we've got 3 leads in there. And then I'm gonna use this knife to sort of fillet this and see if we can get it figured out. Okay, we've got our sensor re-soldered on here now. Let me make sure none of these wires are short-circuited. Alright, looks like we're good. So we'll go ahead and reattach this thing to power now and see if it works. Okay, so we're in color mode now. Let's try and put it on blue. Okay, blue, green, red, yellow, purple. Audio response mode. Cool. I think we fixed it. Sweet. Go ahead now and get some hot glue or something on these little wires here, because as you can see, they are not exactly protected like that, but at least our remote is going to work reliably now. Alright, so I'm going to get this all finished up. I'm going to solder on the rest of the RGB lights, and then we'll be good to mount it on the chair. Hey, there we go. We got all 4 of our LED lights working. Let's check our function here. Red, green, blue. And sound activation. Check. 1, 2. Color change. Sweet. Well, I've decided to poach the power supply from these strobes that I made. This is a little USB thing that will run those strobes. So we're going to go ahead and just temporarily remove this for now. I can always wire it back up later, but this thing was tuned for 12 volts, and I think it'll handle up to like 3.5 amps or something, but these RGB lights don't pull that much power. These are the same boost or buck converters that I used on the steampunk chair and a bunch of other projects. So yeah, I think we should be good. Aha, we have lights. It doesn't look very good from here, but once I lower the chair down and we're in a dark room, they will definitely look a lot better. I'm going to leave this plugged in for a few minutes just to make sure everything's good to go, and then I'll finish buttoning up the wiring, and we should be ready to rock and roll. Oh, the party last night was pretty epic. There was I think there was around 2,500 people there or so, and more than that passing through over the night. Unfortunately, I had to leave a little bit early. I started having an issue with dysreflexia. Well, autonomic dysreflexia is sort of a difference. But if you have a higher level injury or you're quadriplegic, you probably have heard of it and or have to deal with it. But yeah, I had to take off early. I couldn't figure out what exactly was causing it. I think it maybe had something to do with the catheters, but I don't know. Anyways, I'm actually headed out now to go, and there's so much stuff making noise in here. I'm gonna go over to the doctor now, and they're gonna do some blood work and other stuff and see if there's some sort of infection somewhere or something that's going on. I actually wound up having to take the backup meds that I keep around in case I can't get the dysreflexia under control. So yeah, I'm gonna head over there now and see what we can figure out. I'm not driving. I'm super tired. You can probably see the bags under my eyes, but yeah, I think I'm gonna take Lyft over there, and then I'll just take the chair back or the train or whatever. There's a few Goodwills over there that I haven't been to in a little while, so obviously gotta check this out. But anyways, I'm gonna get loaded up. I should order a ride before I do anything, because who knows how long that's gonna take. So I'm sitting here, and suddenly this truck pulls up and stops 2 feet in front of me, and some guy and a lady of the evening pop out of it. And they're like, "Oh, it's an emergency. We have to take a piss." And they went over into the bushes there behind me.
Emergency, take a piss, man. We gotta go. If you don't mind. Do you? Thank you.
So that's a new one. Sitting there eating your lunch, and some guy shows up with a call girl, and they go speeding off into the bushes. Something new every day. The funny thing is, this is not a bad part of town. So anyways, I got all my lab work and other testing done, and I have to wait around now for probably hour and a half, something like that, for the results. And the only pharmacy that's open on Sundays near me is also here, so just gotta kind of hang around the area. I got some chicken legs from KFC. Quality meal, I know. But yeah, we'll know here in a little bit if I need some drugs. Just got an email saying I have a new test result available. That was a little bit faster than I thought. Let's log into the app here. Medical record, test results. Oh, that was quick. I'm actually gonna have to call them. I don't know what any of this means. There's a whole bunch of technical lab terms in here. All right, well, they just called me, and apparently there's no, like, obvious problem. Man, people are terrible at driving. Anyways, they didn't find any issues with infections or whatnot. So that's good, but also, I don't know what's triggering the dysreflexia, so also bad. At any rate, I can leave this place now. We're gonna head towards the Goodwill. Oh look, someone planted wildflowers in the middle of the freeway. It's kinda interesting. To wait for traffic to clear and go in the street to get around this. It is like the worst sidewalk ever. So at the Goodwill, for no apparent reason, and the cheapest thing I've ever seen for 50 cents, I got this cute little hammer. Don't really have a need for it, but I figured, hey, it's a hammer, and it's less than $1. So might as well buy it. Just me and my hammer out for a stroll. Nothing to see here. One other thing I did find at Goodwill today was a new sport band for my Apple Watch. When I got this one, I actually kept the band off the old one, because this one, for whatever reason, came with some sort of cloth one that I didn't really like. So I sold my Apple Watch to someone who's probably watching this. So that's why you have a brand new band on yours and I have the old crusty one. But yeah, we're gonna try swapping this one out. I think it might be a little easier to use. It has these sort of through-hole push things. So, okay, well, I don't know. I'm gonna put it on here and then we'll try it and see. Okay, I got it swapped over. It's a little bit more brightly colored, which is nice. Let's see what the workflow is like trying to put this thing on. Normally I go like this and then turn my wrist over. Then looks like this has to go through here or something, maybe? Yeah. Wait, am I screwing this up? Oh, there we go. I think that's it, actually. Then there's a little thing that slides up here. Actually, that's not too bad. Pretty sure that's how it's supposed to work. See how easily it comes back off. Oh yeah, no big deal. So, it requires a little bit more fiddling around to get it on here. But, yeah, I do think I like this better, though. I'm actually not sure what brand this is at all, but we get a little bit of color. We'll keep this for spare parts. This building has a real problem with spiders. Ugh. Apparently. God damn it. So I'm coming down this sidewalk here, headed towards me. And if you look down this way, it kind of looks like a ramp. Everything's pretty light colored, but then at the last second, I got to right about there and I realized it was steps. So this chair is capable, well, the step's a little big for it. So I tried to grab the side of this building to stop myself, but then I realized I had to kind of commit and just go down the step, because if I stopped, this chair would tip forward. So, yeah. Well, let me take a minute to explain here. By the way, webcam, I found out using this microphone makes it less susceptible to air conditioner noise. But anyways, so I'm cruising down the sidewalk, and I'm not even going full speed. The sun's kind of in my eyes, not really, but it's reflecting on the side of this building. I'm cruising down the sidewalk, and all of a sudden I realize, oh crap, these are stairs. I could have sworn it was a ramp. So I go to slow down, but I was already too close. And, you know, on most chairs, if you pull the joystick backwards in the opposite direction, you stop very quickly. Well, with a rear-wheel drive chair, not all your weight's on the drive wheels, so your stopping distance is a little bit longer. So I started skidding to a stop, and I realized I was going to go over the edge. And I probably would have stopped right as my front wheels went off the edge, but I didn't want to do that because a couple things could potentially happen. One, chair could tip forward because I'm trying to stop. I hit the ground, and the front casters have suspension, so it tips even further. Second thing, might have potentially kept going and then gotten hung up on the anti-tipper wheels on the back. I noticed there was enough run-out space for me to go over the step and not continue down the rest of them. So I just decided to commit, go for it, and end up on that little landing. And then here's what happens. So I've called the fire department, and they should be here shortly. Looks like they rolled heavy rescue. Oh, geez. Just gonna try and avoid a big production. Well, this is somewhat embarrassing. So, coming down the sidewalk, and with the sun was shining down, and it looked just like it was a ramp. And then I got right about to where you were standing, and I was like, oh crap. So I tried to slow down, but then I realized...
You're trying to go up this way? Is that the...
Yeah, I mean, I don't know if you guys have any ramps or anything, or like...
Something we could probably use. Is that... Yeah, we're not going to pick that up.
Well, me and the chair is 810 pounds, so...
Are we able to pivot you back at all to get your front wheels up there?
Maybe. I don't know if you have a strap or something you can put around this and so you can lift. If you got like some dunnage or something, we could probably make a little...
We have those ladder blocks.
Yeah, if you pull back on it, it'll break the seating.
Okay.
Like I said, this thing's super heavy. Yeah, I think that might be the easiest thing. I'm gonna back up just a little bit, yeah.
Let's try this. So those... Okay, can you go back a little bit farther? Just make sure you don't go off that
Yeah,
back. Then try to line those. There you go.
Yeah, they'll turn around and line up when I...
Just want to make sure you get these perfectly low.
Yeah.
With the weight, it'll break these. So let's try. Oh yeah. So let's try this. There you go.
Oh yeah, there we go. That'll work. And I can get up that, no problem. Like if this was 2 inches shorter, it wouldn't be an issue.
Oh really?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, so I'm lining these up with your back wheel.
Yeah, the front casters.
Or I'm gonna do your back wheel on that one and your front caster on this one.
Cool. Tip back, but yeah, it should be good. I gotta back up just a tiny bit. All right, there we go. Cool. Hey, thanks a lot. I really appreciate it. Yeah, now that the sun's not out, I can see, but the sun was blasting in here, and it looked just like a ramp back there, yeah.
How do you? Where is this the ramp?
I think you have to go around to the side, maybe.
To go on the sidewalk?
Yeah. All right, cool. Well, yeah, thanks a lot, guys. I appreciate it. Yeah, catch you later. Well, that was fun. Got it all squared away pretty easily. Super embarrassing though, man. They just redesigned this whole area, and I wasn't exactly familiar with that part right there. So that was interesting. I stopped for a little bit here. I'm charging up the bounder and also charging up my phone with the quick charger. I laser etched some random thing into it. But I also realized that I lost one of the straps that I used to hold baggage and whatnot. So I'm gonna go back and see if I can find that. I don't know exactly where I lost it at. I'm assuming maybe when I went launching over that curb. But I took a couple of videos on my phone and I realized you could see skid marks on the ground. So I'm gonna head back over there. Also, I forgot to make one of the stops that I was going to while I was out. So I'm gonna go back over there and take a picture so you can actually see that it does in fact look like a ramp. And I mean, I pay attention to things. If I don't notice it, it makes me think that other people probably won't as well. I mean, obviously my fault. I should have paid better attention, but I don't know. It just makes me think that, well, hopefully no one else has an issue with that, because other chairs can't handle that as easily. And, well, if it was a shorter flight of stairs, would have been in trouble because you don't need a chair tipping over and landing on top of you. And a 700-pound thing landing on you while you're strapped into it, not necessarily so good. But yeah, let's go check it out. All right, so here we come on this place. It's right over there. Now the light's obviously different this time of day, so it may look differently, but it's right up there. So it's coming down here. And like from this point right here, it looks like there's a ramp. So it's a little more obvious this time of day now that the light has changed. But I think I realized right about here that there was a problem. And I can see very faint skid marks there. But yeah, I'm lucky that there's like 5-foot landings on each step, because that could have gone a lot differently. And from right here at first glance, it looks like they aren't stairs.